Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Mike Briggs. We're here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for Newsmakers, and we've been doing Newsmakers for 12 years, if you could believe it. I was a very young man when we started it, and now here I am. By the way, look at our sky cam we're experimenting with. Got the sky cam behind us. We're going to develop to actual. Hopefully, Michael's vision is something besides telephone wires, but we'll see where it takes him. He's an artist. Let him create. So what are we going to do today? Later in the show, we have Ron Martin. Ron is kind of a environmentalist, always worried about the environment and water and taking care of things like that. And so he wants to come on. I say, of course, Ron, everybody gets a voice here, even if they're to the left of where I am. Anyway, I care about the environment too. I don't want to give the wrong impression. But my first guest is, give me a hint, cowgirl shaman. And why don't you just bring her in? She'll tell me her name. Oh, I got it. It's Terri something.
Terri J.
Terri J. Michael's saying it, but I don't hear as well as I used to. I don't see as well as I used to. But certainly I don't remember things like I used to be able to remember. Terri J., where are you?
I'm in Minden, Nevada.
Okay.
It's in the Carson Valley.
Carson Valley, kind of direction of Carson City?
It's south of Carson City, and I'm due east of Lake Tahoe.
And Carson City's the capital, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Little trivia question. I probably tell you the same thing every time, but 2 governors of Nevada came from here, little town called Exeter, California.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah,
that is fascinating.
2 governors. I remember their names probably before the show's over. Now, Cowgirl Shaman, you actually have a book out. What's the name of the book? We're going to get to that in the end, but
it's called The Cowgirl Shaman Way, 7 Easy Steps to Develop Your Intuitive Ability.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a million questions on that in
That's
a few
okay.
minutes. I wanted to start with, we have one theme going this month. This last couple months is COVID. How do people survive? How do people stay healthy? You got any ideas on those subjects?
Well, the first thing is to use the law of attraction. The law of attraction states what you think about, you bring about. Thoughts are things, thoughts become things. And the highest vibration or frequency that we can hold as a human is love. And the lowest vibration or frequency that we hold is fear. And many people go into fear of COVID, and they get it.
Right.
You know, it's like saying, I hope I don't wreck my new car, and then you wreck your new car, because the universe just hears what you're focused on, not the yes or the no. And so it's very important to just be happy. Happiness and love, loving everything around you, staying in gratitude, just those simple things can really keep you healthy.
Okay, now what about social interaction? That's what makes me happy.
Well, we have to be very careful when we do it. It doesn't mean we can't do it, but we have to do social distancing, and we need to really make sure that we wash our hands a lot and wear our masks whenever we're around other people. You know, it's really funny, as a cowgirl, we'll go and clean a horse's sheath, which is probably one of the dirtiest things you can clean, and come in and make a sandwich with never washing our hands.
Yeah.
And I've become much more aware of how dirty my hands are all the time because of working with horses and things. So I'm much more aware, and I drive myself to wash my hands a lot more than I ever did.
Right. One thing I've found is that instead of being around 100 people a day or a few hundred a week, I limit myself to 4 or 5 people that I
Sure.
will get closer than the 6 feet to. And then
Right.
I think that helps. When I go into an establishment, especially our dirty grocery stores around here, I wear the mask, of course. Sometimes I wear rubber gloves, but I'll carry an alcohol wipe just to grab things in the store and open the
Sure.
doors and stuff. And then and I'm not supposed to be going to these restaurants and bars, but when I do, I just go in and find one spot to sit away from everyone else. Then I could take my mask off and breathe a little easy. But
Right. But I think just taking precautions, the biggest problem with COVID is the fact that it is so highly contagious. You know, it's like 100 times more contagious than any flu.
Right.
But I really wanted to share this interesting information that I got today. I was reading an article, and they used a supercomputer and put in all of this data from DNA samples. And they used to think that the cytokine storms are what was killing people. And they've actually narrowed it down to the Brady-Kinin hypothesis. And I'm probably saying that wrong, but I would still wanted to share it. Brady-Kinin is how you say it, I think. And what they have found out is that is what is killing people. And the interesting thing is there's all kinds of treatments for it, all kinds of treatments. So, and I always said that I think we're going to have really good treatments for COVID before we ever have a vaccine.
Okay.
Because, you know, with vaccines, you always get really bad reactions with some people. And I'm the kind of person that would never get a flu vaccine or a pneumonia vaccine. I just wouldn't ever do it. I never want to put that kind of stuff in my body. So this is really, really exciting news. And very simply, the same article determined that just vitamin D can really help to boost your immune and also prevent the virus from taking hold. Those to me are very, very significant things.
Is vitamin D the one we get from the sun?
Uh-huh. But most people are deficient. I think they said something like 40% of people are deficient in it.
Yeah. Well, nowadays we block the sun. We try not to get sunshine on our face or on our body and stuff like that. So now you say a lot of interesting things. I want to pick them apart a bit. I've seen I was asking my friends all week, hey, are you going to get the vaccine when it comes out? And they're all saying, heck no, not till it's out a while. I watch this crazy show called The View every day. And these women are all women, and they kind of debate politics and stuff. And there's one on there, Joy is her name. I forget her last name, but she says
Bihar.
Yeah, Joy Behar. She says, I'm going to get it as soon as Donald Trump's daughter gets the vaccine. She won't take it till the daughter does. But that's the attitude of a lot of people. They're not going to take it till they know it's a real thing.
Right. And I think treating it. Also, this is an amazing new discovery. This Brady-Kinin discovery, the hypothesis, really has a lot of significance because it wasn't just people doing experimentation. This was using a master supercomputer to take all of this data and sift through it and find out the why. So once you've got the why and you understand what the symptoms really are, then you have incredible, easy treatments, and they're inexpensive too.
There's already treatments out there. So
yes, that's the most amazing thing.
That is interesting, this race to get the vaccine, and we might beat the vaccine by finding a way to treat the illnesses or treat the illness.
And I felt that all along, that they would, break down the different symptoms and in typical allopathic medicine treat the symptoms. But some of them were not treatable. But they've just discovered so many things from analyzing all of this incredible data. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting news. It just came out. Yeah.
I kind of been giving a few people a hard time who've come to complete concrete conclusions on this COVID, that they say it's a hoax, that you don't need face masks, that it's a communist conspiracy. And these people are absolutely sure about it. And I'm saying, where's your data? Where's your analysis? And you're saying the supercomputer takes multiple layers of data and is doing analyses.
Yes.
And this guy on the corner who is sure, he didn't even graduate from high school, and he's trying to tell us how to live our lives and not get the virus. So, but
and the other thing too that I wanted to bring up is energy healing is an incredible component for this. We all make ourselves sick. We all have the ability to heal ourselves. And we don't understand that we're 99% energy and only 1% physical. Well, why is all of allopathic medicine focused on only the 1% physical? We have all of that energy part of our bodies that we really need to work on. And we already know that cells respond to emotions. We know that we feel higher than a kite when we've just fallen in love. Our feet don't touch the ground. Nothing hurts. We feel so good when we first fall in love. And as opposed to when we're grieving, we feel like we're wearing cement shoes. We can't even move. And we feel so painful and lethargic. And so that is a perfect way of noting that the cells respond to emotions. Diseases, issues in the tissues. And it doesn't mean throw allopathic medicine out the window. It means let's look at the cause of disease. It's why they won't tell you you're cured. They'll only say you're in remission.
Right.
Because they don't know about the emotional component, which is the cause of disease. It's dis-ease. So people can do energy healing, and I am happy to send energy healing instructions to anybody who wants it, and they can just go ahead and do it themselves. This is the problem with it. It's freaking free. It's free. Nobody's going to make money off of it.
And could they start by going to terrij.com?
Absolutely. Just email me from my website, and I'm happy to send energy healing instructions to anybody who wants it.
Okay. Now, I want to go back. I keep taking all kinds of crazy directions, but you kind of were saying in the beginning, I didn't let you expound on it very much, maybe as a preventative measure, you could use some of these energies and emotions to help you keep from getting the disease.
Absolutely. I always say there's no room in a happy body for disease. But we have to really think about not just being superficially happy. We have to have that down to the bone happy, where we've dealt with all of the garbage in our life, and we've dealt with our unhappy childhood issues. We've dealt with abuse, whatever kind of abuse it was, and we're totally empowered. There's no room for disease in a body like that. It can't function, because the body will then take on a higher frequency, a higher vibration, so it doesn't become a match for the lower vibration of any disease.
So could you say the opposite then? The people who they're out of work, they're trying to figure out how to make their house payment, maybe or the electricity bill is coming due, their girlfriend dumped them because now they're not making any money. Maybe that could all weigh on people, and that person's more likely to catch the COVID.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's people that are emotionally vulnerable that end up being physically vulnerable. And we're not putting that correlation together because we're not looking at the whole body. The body is an energy producer. Think about mitosis in the cells. That's creation of energy in the cells. So we are all creating our own energy. And how we do that depends on how we feel.
Well, can a mere mortal like me, how do you dump all the trash out and, get rid of that and just get into happiness so there's no room left for the disease to come in?
Well, happiness is a choice. That's the pisser part about it. Yeah. Seriously, it's a choice. And you could go stand by a light switch and flip it up and decide to be happy, and you could flip it down and decide to be miserable. I mean, there's homeless people living under bridges that are happy.
Yep. Seen them.
Really, there's people that have nothing that are happy. They're choosing that.
So they're not worried about their house payment, and they're not worried about their electric bill and things like that. And that's a lot of the garbage that just weighs us down.
Sure. So I always tell people to get your power back, because that's usually the first thing that we run into when we're children. Is we're born powerful. We know we've come here to create our own life and our own happiness. And then little by little, people take our power and they say, you can't because you're a girl, you're a boy, you're too stupid, you're too short, you're too ugly, whatever. So by the time we hit puberty, we're a mess. Yeah. We feel totally worthless and disempowered. And so just by writing letters to those who've taken your power and then burning those letters while you say out loud, nobody's ever going to treat me like that again, that is the simple way to get your power back.
Wow.
And then if it's an abusive spouse, if it's an abusive friend, if we've run into things that were horrible in our life, even an abusive boss, we've all had one of those. Yep. And then process that negativity out so we're not carrying it around with us. And that's the best thing that we can do. Because if you're empowered, then you're not going to allow anyone to hurt you either.
Right. And again, go to terrij.com and find out more about that, right?
Absolutely.
Now, we're talking about COVID, but I'm realizing the message you're giving us is for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get over a lot of stuff. You need to get over a lot of stuff just for a fuller and happier life. Get all that old stuff out.
Right, right. I even got asked when I met my husband, who's my middle school boyfriend, and we got together after 47 years apart.
Oh, my gosh.
But people say, well, aren't you happy now? And I make a face and go, well, I was happy before he came into my life. Yeah. One had nothing to do with the other. Am I glad he's here? Oh, my goodness, yes. He's a treasure. He's an absolute treasure. I'm so glad to have him as my companion. But does he make me happy? No, that's my responsibility.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they make it codependencies where they depend on another person for their happiness, and it's a double-edged sword. It can make them unhappy too.
Right. That's true, definitely. Now, and I should have told you before we started the interview, it's a little different format. We go a little longer, but I'm always regret after we talk that we don't have as much time. So we have a little more time this time. Tell me about the book. Is your book, Cowgirl Shaman, is it kind of the same theme as what we've been talking about?
It's sort of a little bit autobiographical. It tells how I got started because I heard a nonverbal child speak to me. That's how I got started, and that was way back in 1990. And that the suggestion was made to learn to communicate with the horses in the handicap riding program because, it's the same thing, and all animals are telepathic. And then one thing has just led to another. And now I know there's no limits on these abilities. And after I'd been doing it several years, I thought, okay, how am I doing this? Yeah. What am I doing physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically? What am I doing? How am I able to do these kinds of things? And so then I just got to writing, and it took me a long time to really write the book to where I was happy and comfortable with it as an easy way to learn, because everybody has these abilities.
Now,
and so it's
so everybody has these abilities, and
absolutely.
I think that's one good thing about your book, from what I've heard about it, is that it shows your path where you got there, or how you figured it out, how you figured out you're doing it, and that others may be able to do this as well.
Right. We're all born with 10 senses, 5 physical and 5 energetic or spiritual senses. And it's intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, and claircognizance. And we all have all of those. And we turn it off in childhood because we probably freak out some adult. And, with those intuitive abilities. And so it's just a matter of learning to turn them back on. This is not woo-woo stuff. It's physics.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's different about my approach is I'm a cowgirl. I'm down to earth. I'm out there cleaning up horse manure twice a day, every day. And so then I come inside and work in the ethers. But to me, if I didn't have physics, I probably couldn't do this work because physics explains what I do: energy, frequency, vibration.
Well, I always felt that these abilities are trained out of people from a very young age.
Yes.
You can't do this, you can't do that, or
right.
No, that's not this and that's not that. And I've
right.
seen people do that. We had, kind of off this subject, but I had 3 kids, and their mom, I watched their mom teach them not to eat certain things.
Right.
And I took all 3 to our Rotary Club Christmas lunch, and the wife couldn't make it. And the little kid climbed up on the table, grabbed the salad, and started eating the salad. I almost started to say, no, you guys don't like salad, remember? But he didn't know. He had not been trained yet.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's just kind of an example. We teach our little kids certain things.
Right.
How to act, no, that's not right. Or, they might hear something or into something. Is that
right.
a word, into or intuit something? And
little kids often will have an invisible friend. And we try to tell them they don't have an invisible right. friend, that's just their imagination, or that they've got a wild imagination. Well, how do we know they're not playing with the spirit of a deceased child? We don't know that.
Yeah. Now, you probably already know I'm a skeptic because you're very intuitive, but when your first instance was communicating with a non-communicative kid?
A nonverbal child that had cerebral palsy.
And also with animals and the horses. And is the communication always, when we think that, we think you're hearing words, like they're communicating through English words, but
it can be.
Okay.
It can be, but often it's a taste, a smell, a sound, a feeling. Mm-hmm. With the dogs, when I talk to dogs, they're always giving me smells.
Because that's how they think and communicate.
Exactly.
So.
Their whole world is about scents.
Okay.
And with horses, it's a lot about pain. They're asked to do a job that they're not really designed to do. They're designed to graze and run from predators, and that's it.
Yeah. We have them running down the racetrack and sometimes fracturing a bone just doing that.
Well, they're raised too young. Horses are raised way too young. But I do a lot of barrel horses, and I have a lot of professional barrel racers that are my clients and been my clients for years. They'll even have me look at a horse before they purchase it. And I can tell them all kinds of things about that horse.
Wow.
So it's pretty interesting what they share with me. It's very interesting. Very specific pain issues.
Okay. Now, and I keep pulling you away from your great points you're making. We're talking about your book. Let's go back to that. Who should be buying your book?
I think everybody should, especially people that want to do intuitive communication, all healthcare workers that have to work with people that are in a coma, persistent vegetative state, that are just unconscious, anybody that needs to be able to communicate with people that can't communicate in traditional ways.
Yeah.
You know, they even have communication devices for like some autistic kids and some kids that are nonverbal. They have communication devices. And there's a whole segment of our population that like has severe Alzheimer's and they don't communicate anymore.
Mm-hmm. But
And
they
with
still
intuitive
feel and have pain and
Right.
have issues that they can't communicate. Yeah.
Right. But they're still in there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so my second book is in process right now, and that is exactly what I'm writing about, is intuitive communication. Because there's so many people that can really benefit by it, and especially if you've got a loved one or a family member that's in a coma or has had a stroke and is nonverbal, has communication issues. I mean, it can apply to so many millions of people in the United States.
Yeah. Now, can people communicate with you? Can people call you or make an appointment or schedule a session with you?
Absolutely, and I'm really reasonable. I want to keep my rates low so that people can always get a hold of me and have a reading. It's only $50 and $90 for a half hour.
Nice.
And there's no limit on the number of subjects that we can do in a session, which to me that should be that way. I've had people say, well, so you only do one horse? And I think no. And then, well, I went to somebody else and they only allowed one animal per reading.
Yeah.
And I think that's disgusting, really. It really is. That's abusing people.
Yeah.
So
And
I've done
again-
readings where I do 10 and 12 horses in a reading.
Wow. I mean, you're there, you go out to someone's ranch. They're not
No.
all bringing their horses to you, right? Or
No, I do it all by phone.
it's all by the phone. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I do it all over the world.
Okay.
So we can still social distance.
Nice. Well, and what about the idea of getting someone's head straight as they're, facing COVID? Again, over the phone could be a way you could talk somebody through getting their head in the right place for that.
Well, again, it's about empowerment. It's about raising your vibration. It's still about doing those smart things like taking vitamin D, boosting your immune system. There's lots of ways to boost immune system because the whole immune system is based in the intestines. So we want to make sure we're taking care of our guts.
Yeah.
And then having your head on straight so you're not living in fear, because fear lowers your vibration where love raises your vibration.
Okay.
And going into gratitude helps so much too. They've actually proven that going into gratitude actually changes your brain chemistry. That's incredible.
You mean being grateful for all kinds of
Everything.
things? Yeah.
Well, being grateful for what you have, but also being grateful for what you want as if you already have it. I mean, that works beautifully.
Yeah. We're out of time, unfortunately. I got a couple of minutes. Are you getting the smoke from our fires here? Is it drifting over to Nevada?
We've had a couple bad days, and you can see some of it, especially south of here. So that would be close to where you are.
Yeah.
But we're actually having a clear day, and it's cold.
Yeah.
We were in the 30s this morning.
Last couple of mornings, I thought the sun didn't come up because I'm awake. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I feel like this one I should be up, but it's still dark outside. The whole sun's obscured by the smoke from just up the road
We
from
actually
us.
had one day where a lot of the dogs in this area were afraid to go outside because they thought there were thunder clouds outside
Yeah,
because it was so dark here.
Wow. Well,
It actually kept the temperature down.
yeah, we love it when you come on. We want you to come on all the time. You're fascinating to talk to. But I just want to encourage everybody, start at terrijay.com. It's TERRIJAY.com. And if you don't write it down or you don't get it, call me here at Central Valley Talk. I'll give you that web address. In fact, go to our YouTube channel, and Terri has a whole bunch of videos she's made with us here right on our YouTube channel. You could listen to all kinds of stuff. And if you do want a reading with her, you could either call her or do what I do. I am always asking her stuff like, where did I leave this item or where did I leave that item? I get it for free. It's a trick. Anyway, Terri J, last thoughts you want to say to our viewers?
No, I'm just honored to be here, and if anybody wants more confirmation of their own ability, I really encourage them to get my book. It's available on Amazon. It's The Cowgirl Shaman Way, 7 Easy Steps to Develop Your Intuitive Ability. It's also available on my website too.
Okay.
And it's an easy, simple way to really enhance the abilities you already have or to start from scratch.
Yeah. Well, let's challenge our viewers. Go to TerriJ.com. Buy 10 of the books. Give them to your friends for Christmas. We always give stuff out for Christmas that people don't need, and you're just looking for something to buy. You could change someone's life with this book. TerriJ.com, and the book is Cowgirl Shaman. Thank you, Terri.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time. We'll be back with more Newsmakers right after this.
CARROLLCO, the Valley's leader for no-cost energy upgrades. Now installing AC motors, Nest thermostats, insulation, and more. COVID-19 safe. Call CARROLLCO at 559-396-3939 and visit carrollco.net. 559-396-3939 and visit carrollco.net. Call Valley Cryosport today to learn how you can decrease muscle soreness, speed up your body's recovery time, and improve your immune system. And Valley Cryoskin uses science that works with your body's natural systems, killing fat cells without damaging surrounding tissue, and increasing oxygen supply that aids in collagen production, resulting in slimmer, toned bodies, and the elimination of fine lines and wrinkles. Visit valleycryosport.com today, or call 559-500-3304.
Clovis Community College may be free for you to attend. Call 325-5239 or visit cloviscollege.edu for details. We offer general education classes for transfer and short-term training programs.
Leemore Movers has been moving families and communities for over 40 years, providing outstanding civilian and DoD relocations. Our specialty is providing packing, moving, and storage services for NAS Leemore military members and their families. Call 888-776-3314 and visit leemoremovers.com.
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.
Got lactose intolerance or dairy allergies? Discover delicious raw milk and discover dairy the way it's supposed to be. We provide tours and would love to see you. Come visit the cows, watch the milking, the cheese being made, and learn all about raw milk. We're just 20 miles south and west of Fresno, California. Call to schedule a tour at 559-846-9732. At McDermott Counseling, you will receive the highest level of care and a welcoming, safe space in which to discuss your most personal issues. Our therapists go above and beyond for you. Call 559-280-5756 or visit McDermottCounseling.com to find a caring therapist who best suits your needs.
Now with offices in Hanford, California. Also offering telehealth therapy. Weedman Lawn Care of Fresno, California is a locally owned and operated lawn care company providing environmentally responsible fertilization, weed control, and integrated pest management services. Call Weedman Fresno at 559-266-1624 or visit them at fresno.weedmanusa.com.
If your home floods, who will you call? When your house springs a leak, it's time to call CLEANMASTER Emergency Flood Service at 559-213-9430. CLEANMASTER will be there in 60 minutes to start fixing your home. And CLEANMASTER bills your insurance directly, saving you the hassle because you've got enough to worry about. CLEANMASTER also offers carpet and upholstery cleaning, carpet repair, pet odor removal, and more. Remember, CLEANMASTER Emergency Flood Service. 559-213-9430 and visit CleanMasterFlood.com. Pour yourself a glass of Crybaby wine available at the market and Sam's Italian Deli. And remember to ask for Crybaby wine at your favorite restaurant.
Forget about the higher good of food, right? You're growing a product that people enjoy really all over the world. I mean, how does that make you feel?
I think about that all the time. I think about the families sitting around a table, enjoying a meal. I just see that what we do brings families together.
I mean, we're blessed. We're in paradise for food.
The Kern family of the Kern Family Farm invites you to eat delicious, nutritious, organic produce available at the Gnarly Carrot, located at 32954 Road 222 in North Fork, California. The Gnarly Carrot is a local, natural, seasonally changing market offering a wide range of products from local Central Valley vendors. Get your caffeine fix, grab a smoothie, and support small businesses. Learn more at KernFamilyFarm.com and visit the Gnarly Carrot today. Doctor in Sukasa allows you to connect with your doctor when you need a quick treatment. Avoid a trip to a medical clinic or emergency room and connect by video.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. We're on our 12th year of Newsmakers. We're here every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, and we're dealing with COVID right now. I haven't been able to get a haircut for months, and we're fighting the disease, trying to be safe, wear a mask, things like that. One way I'm staying healthy is I'm drinking raw milk from Organic Pastures, raw milk. Now, I got this milk over at Christina's Natural Market, I think it's called, over at Barstow and First. I think they're very helpful, and there's row after row and shelf after shelf of raw milk products. Their cheese, their whipping cream or whipped cream, heavy cream, all kinds of products from raw dairies, and they treat their cows very well. And the cows only eat organic grass, and they're very happy cows. They love to be milked, by the way. And I just want to thank Raw Milk for being one of our sponsors here today. I'm just going to sip on the milk and be healthy. I'm not fighting COVID with this milk because it helps my immune system. We've been inviting different guests in this week to talk about all kinds of things from the environment to what's going on in the world, how to take care of our world. And we regularly have a guest. Ron Martin is here, and he's just going to tell us a whole bunch of things that are going on that we should know about. Am I right?
That's right.
You were talking about evangelical environmentalists?
Well, our group is called the Evangelical Climate Change Network. It's just a small committee, and it's formed of members of the Citizens Climate Lobby and a few members from the Sierra Club. And we know that there's a lot of climate change denial among evangelicals.
Yes.
And we thought if we could just reach out to evangelicals, maybe we could make more progress in fighting climate change. And there is a prominent scholar who's touring the nation, speaking to people, evangelicals. She's Catherine Hayhoe, the chairman of the Department of Atmospheric Sciences at Texas Tech University. And her husband is an evangelical pastor.
Okay. And say her name one more time, Catherine?
Catherine Hayhoe.
And she
Yes.
would appeal or is able to communicate with the evangelicals.
That's right. She can quote scripture and explain from the Bible that we need to fight climate change. And we wanted to book her this year, but her schedule is so full that it would probably be next year.
Yeah.
But then, of course, there's a problem with COVID-19. Where would we have it? Maybe next year it'll be a better time anyway. We thought about a video presentation, that too. We need to do some fundraising for that. So we hope she can get through to evangelicals and show them that, one, climate change is a problem. The climate is changing, and we can do and we should do something about it. We did discover an opposing group on the other side of climate change, the Cornwall Alliance.
Okay.
They say that evangelicals should forget about climate change. It's not a problem. In fact, if you concern yourself with climate change, you're probably just getting sucked in to a pagan way of looking at the world that has nothing to do with the Christian faith.
Yeah.
Turning the earth into a religion, and that they want power. The only way we could get off of fossil fuels is a problem with a world government. But the climate change people aren't asking for world government. We've got plenty of world centralized power.
Yeah.
So we can deal with it as nations get together, the European Union, the United Nations, and so forth. The important thing is to realize it's a problem and realize we got to get moving on it fast.
Well, now, here's some perspective I've had is that world's been here thousands or millions or billions of years.
4.5 billion years.
Yeah. And in my lifetime, in your lifetime, all these things have happened in this short, teeny little period.
Yes.
There isn't even a speck of dust on the timeline. You know,
Exactly.
from microwaves to cell phones to computer. When I was in college, there's no computers.
Yeah.
And now all this stuff is prevalent everywhere. So to think that we're not going to cause some giant change in something, when you went from zero electricity running on power lines throughout the world, I mean, there was zero, and then all of a sudden in the 20th century, mostly the second half of the 20th century, all these things just have come up. So,
yeah, and it's true that a lot of them have been enabled by the use of fossil fuel. It's a tremendous source of energy, lots of energy in a small package of a gallon of gasoline or so forth. But this can be a bridge fuel to the new sustainable forms of energy, electricity, solar panels, wind, and so forth. And we're really changing the planet. So many people all over the world are driving cars, using power from fossil fuel powered power plants, and we're drilling millions of gallons of oil and burning it daily. I believe in California it's 150 million gallons of gasoline that are purchased every day and burned. Now, you think we're going to do that and not have some effect on the planet and the atmosphere?
yeah. Yeah, like I said, millions of years without it. Now all of a sudden, 50, 60, 80 years with this constant flow. So
That's right. And the climate change deniers say, well, there's been a change in temperature before. It's gotten cold, it's gotten warm. But generally, it's taken on the span of maybe 10,000 years.
10,000 years, yeah. And we're done it in 50, 60, 80 years.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not a big environmentalist or a denier either way. I'm just get up in the day and play my guitar and watch some news, and I'm not thinking about it. But there are people thinking about it and studying it, and I commend you for what you're doing. Just let's get people talking about it.
We need to talk about it. We need to be aware that this is the crisis of our time. This is the big problem we've got to face. I think we can do it. People are afraid, like President Trump said, it'll cost billions and trillions of dollars to make a switch from fossil fuel to sustainable fuels. But if he thinks that's expensive, imagine how expensive it's going to be to deal with a changed climate. In fact, there's not enough money to deal with it. It's going to be such a horrible change. So it's something we have to look at. The window of something to do about it is small, but many, many people are thinking about it. The Sierra Club has pretty much devoted itself to arousing the people to do something about climate change. Now, John Muir founded the Sierra Club. He wanted to preserve wilderness. But we realize if we want to preserve wilderness, we've got to preserve the planet and the atmosphere. Otherwise, wilderness and everything else will roast.
Yep. Fascinating. Now, and I'm not pitching this as any kind of perspective. It's just that my mind just thinks and thinks and thinks, and where'd all that fossil fuel come from, and why is it there? That we come along, we harvest it, and wow, that's useful.
Well, some people think it's from dinosaurs, but it was from the age of the dinosaurs, when most of the plants on the earth were ferns, and all these plants fell into bodies of water. They deteriorated, and it's organic material, and it became petroleum and coal and natural gas. It's been gathering there for millions of years, waiting there for us to discover it, and James Watt to discover the steam engine that made mining possible. And we discovered what a wonderful fuel it is. From the evangelical perspective, we could say that God put it there. God planned to have it there, and he knew that we would burn it for a fuel. He also knew what would happen if we don't realize what the effects are. I heard a secular speaker on the radio say that what's going to happen in climate change is like a nature walk through the book of Revelation. It's in there. It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
So what will happen as a result of climate change is there, and we're going to bring it on. And if we bring it on, that's sinful. We're called to cease from sin. Why should we commit this sin to destroy God's creation now?
Right.
Let's let the future generations do it.
Yeah. Now, I just finished reading a book on Elon Musk, his process of developing these batteries and stuff. Are the batteries themselves going to hurt our environment?
Well, that's an interesting question. Some people have said that just manufacturing solar panels creates pollution and so forth. That's something we have to watch it for and think about. Maybe the batteries would create a problem, but there are different ways to store energy. Batteries aren't the only way. We'll probably be very reliant on batteries for our electric cars.
Yeah.
The batteries last a certain amount of time. When they don't hold enough power to run an electric car, they can be piled up in huge piles to store energy for the grid.
There you go.
So, and
not efficient enough for the run a car, but you could.
Yes.
Storage for the grid.
If you don't have to move them around, they can be some efficiency.
Well, I'll tell you what I discovered is about a year or 2 years ago, I was carless, and I found I could function just fine without a car. And I centered my life around this one little neighborhood here in the Tower District, and everything I want to do is right here. And just the idea of pumping that gas in there and driving across town, to save 20 cents on a can of tuna or something, just didn't make sense to me anymore. So I think this.
Well, that's marvelous.
Yeah, this reliance on the car thing is just amazing. So.
Yeah, I don't have a car either.
But part of it is maybe building our communities like the community I live in, where there is the store and the entertainment and food and everything I need. So
that's right. Now, so many cities have been built around the automobile, but we don't have to keep it that way. We can build it around the bicycle or walking.
Yeah, or walking. Yeah, and maybe it's harder to do stuff with all the stuff that's already been built. But from now on, everything that's newly built, I hope they're having that in mind. So keeping that in mind.
Well, we're always changing. We're always building, rebuilding, and we can adapt, I believe, and. It'll take some sacrifices, but these are sacrifices that we can make.
Yeah. Ron, we're running out of time. Where can somebody go for more resources? Or you say you have an organization, or you participate in an organization?
It's a small committee. Just call me if you want to get in on our Zoom meetings. My phone number is 559-222-5524. But mainly, we're a planning committee, planning to bring Catherine Hayhoe to town. Get involved in the Sierra Club. If you attend church, talk to your fellow church members. Ask them what they think about climate change, and let them know that God is calling us to preserve his creation. And we need to do that as a nation and stop burning fossil fuels.
God is calling us to preserve his creation.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, and I always say there's nothing wrong with talking or listening to different points of view. So this speaker you're talking about is fascinating. It could appeal to different segments and.
Well, yes. She's a professor of science, of atmospheric sciences. You don't have to wait till we bring her to town and we get a whole bunch of people together. You can watch her now on YouTube, on her YouTube channel, Global Weirding, it's called. And they're delightful little videos she has with good graphics and charts and so forth. She's a teacher. She does a good job.
Global Weirding.
Yeah.
I like that, YouTube. Ron, I appreciate you coming. Any last thoughts for our guests or viewers?
Well, attend church on Zoom and talk it up among your fellow church members. And it is true that one of the best things we can do to preserve our planet is to get a different president.
There you go. I didn't say it, he did it.
Yeah.
I'm neutral. I have to be neutral. Newsmakers are pretty neutral. We have everybody from every point of view, and we appreciate your point of view. So, Ron, you're welcome here anytime, and we'll be back with more Newsmakers right after this.
When you need to get fit, contact Gary Torres, IFBB Pro, specializing in weight loss, body transformations, and contest prep. Email GaryTorres5336@yahoo.com.
Hey, I'm Chris DeVold. Tune in every Friday night on CentralValleyTalk.com when I bring you Sex, Drugs, Chris DeVold, where I'll give you 3 guesses on what we talk about. And I also vow to bring you 1 live local music act a week. So tune in every week because you never know what kind of music you're going to hear right here on CentralValleyTalk.com.
The Space Colony Journals are an epic tale of a family's struggle to survive. Meet the courageous women and dangerous men who dare to carve a home on the alien world of Vensug. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon and GaleDailiesFineArt.com.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension, a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
Contact Sarah Hernandez of June and Matt Photography to schedule your portrait, engagement, wedding, or next family photo session. But that's not all. Sarah is also your personal brandographer, helping you ditch the stock photos and get images that sell. Call 559-412-3721. Visit JuneandMattPhoto.com and follow Sarah on Instagram and Facebook.
Give your child the tools to succeed. The Yergubian Academic Center offers one-on-one and group educational lessons by appointment. Over 90% of our students show significant improvement in their academics in just 3 months. Students of the Yergubian Academic Center have gone on to UCLA, UC San Diego, Yale, Stanford, and many more prestigious universities. Schedule a tutoring session today. Call 559-437-3973. Highlights, balayage, color, extensions, cuts, pure Brazilian blowouts, treatments. Contact Jordan Myers at Hair by Jordan.
Did you know most hair and beauty salons in the Central Valley are not disposing of their chemicals correctly? Partner with us today to become an eco-friendly salon. Visit us online at greenbeautywaste.com. Our phone number is 559-367-7206. And be sure to visit us on Instagram and Facebook at Green Beauty Waste.
Is everything in life draining you? Come to Stretch 360. Our professional staff can offer you many options for relaxation like deep tissue or hot stone massages, infrared medical grade sauna. Once you leave us, you'll look and feel like $1,000,000. Stretch 360. Relaxation is only a stretch away.
The Art of Becoming Who We Are in Christ by Jolene Kennedy is a book about the process of maturity as we find our true identity, since God's promises must be received, embraced, and activated within us. Get your copy today and check out JoleneKennedy.com.
Fleet Feet Fresno is more than just a running and sportswear store. Fleet Feet Sports' mission is to provide runners and other active Fresnans with gear that fits their individual needs, training that helps them reach their fitness goals, and races that satisfy their competitive spirit. Get to know Fleet Feet Fresno today.
I'm Daniel Berlant from the Cal Fire Information Center with the fire situation report for Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. Yesterday and overnight, firefighters had a significant battle on their hands as winds whipped a number of fires, allowing significant growth and extreme fire behavior, not only for a number of new fires, but also in some of the major fires that had been burning. We saw significant growth. Today, right now, there are 28 major wildfires burning in California. I want to at least go through really quickly a couple of the new fires where we are seeing a significant amount of fire activity. First, up in Plumas County and Butte County. This is where the Bear Fire had been burning. The U.S. Forest Service has been battling it for several weeks now on the Plumas National Forest just outside of Quincy. And yesterday, with those winds, this fire was able to just burn right down towards a number of communities towards Lake Oroville through the middle fork of the Feather River Canyon. Additional evacuations called there. The Bear Fire, which again is just south of Quincy. The Bear Fire, the Claremont Fire, all part of the U.S. Forest Service's North Complex. It grew significantly. Yesterday it was 40,000 acres. Right now it is over 150,000 acres. And again, a lot of activity occurring now in Butte County, closer to this Lake Oroville area and the community of Lake Oroville, as the fire has pushed down into Butte County. Number of these other fires that are burning and that are continuing to be very significant is the Creek Fire. Creek Fire is here just to the northeast of Fresno, and it has now grown to over 163,000 acres. So there was growth overnight. It is continuing to burn in an area that has had significant tree die-off, tree mortality due to drought and bark beetle. So this fire has continued to grow. A number of evacuations in the Fresno and the Madera foothills just below where this fire is burning. Again, 163,000 acres. Right now it is 0% contained. There's also been a lot of activity with the U.S. Forest Service on a fire that has been burning down in the Big Sur area. Here's Highway 1 just to give you some perspective. This fire, the Dolan Fire, is being handled by the Los Padres National Forest, but a significant amount of smoke can be visible as the fire activity has increased. You can go to InsaWeb for the latest from the Forest Service on those fires. Now, progress has been made, though, and firefighters have done a good job holding back and continuing to keep containment on a number of the major fires, specifically in the Bay Area. The SCU Lightning Complex has been holding at about 396,000 acres, containment up 1% from yesterday, now at 95%. The LNU Lightning Complex in the North Bay, holding at 375,000 acres, it is 91% contained. The CZU Lightning Complex is now 86,000 acres, a little over 86,000 acres. Containment on this fire is now 83%. Again, no growth in any of those fires. So as progress is made on these fires, we're able to redeploy those resources to some of the other major fires. In fact, the U.S. Forest Service, just outside of Sacramento on the El Dorado National Forest, this is where the Fork Fire has been burning, and CAL FIRE is assisting the Forest Service on this blaze as well. Let's go down to Southern California, talk about some of these fires, specifically down in San Bernardino County near Yucaipa. The El Dorado fire has now burned just over 11,000 acres. It is 19% contained. That's up 3% from yesterday, so there is progress made there. And then the Valley Fire down in the Alpine community in San Diego County, the east backcountry, is at 17,000 acres. A little bit of growth last night. This fire now 11% contained. So crews making some good headway on that fire as well. So again, the winds did hamper efforts for firefighters. They did allow explosive growth on a number of fronts. Again, several new fires. But yesterday, there were 51 new wildfires. Almost all of those were able to be contained quickly, though there were several new fires, again, as I mentioned. If you want more details, the latest acres in the containment, you can go to our website, fire.ca.gov. Even if the fire is a federal fire being managed by the U.S. Forest Service, we'll have a link here so that you can get the very latest on these fires. But in total, on these fires, 28 major fires. They have burned well over 2 million acres in total, and there are over 14,000 firefighters battling these fires. And as these fires have continued to grow at those explosive rates, it has forced evacuations in a number of areas, and so there are over 64,000 people now evacuated on these fires. So let's talk about why that's happening. Well, the red flag warning that had been issued by the National Weather Service due to gusty winds and low humidity. This is an image of Northern California, but this red flag warning in effect through today, this afternoon, with the strongest winds really being this morning. So we could actually start to see those winds die off if this prediction stays true. But today, winds could be up to 60 miles an hour in some areas. So very, very strong. When we have winds that are that strong, it not only makes it not very safe sometimes to fly the aircraft, but also they become not very effective. The retardant never is able to actually hit the ground and do anything. And so oftentimes when we have these huge gusty winds, we're just not able to fly it safely and effectively from the air. Let's show you the red flag warning map that still remains in effect. You can see a good portion of Northern California stretching really from the Oregon border all the way down, but this has been reduced in some areas, so it's not as widespread, and even most of this should actually expire this warning later today. Now, here's the winds. This is one of those reasons that these fires have been able to grow so quickly. 50 miles to 20 miles an hour in the Chico area. That's where, again, that Bear Fire has been able to really just hit hard into the Oroville area. But you can see wind gusts right now, pretty gusty. Hopefully by tonight, though, they will die down. Let's talk about the overall stats. Again, 51 new fires yesterday. Here's the record. 2.5 million acres burned this year to date. Compared to last year, it's almost a 2,000% increase. So this year has already been a very destructive fire season, and it is nowhere close to being over. If you want the details on any of these fires, we have links to the Sheriff's Department for their evacuation information. We have the latest on the containment and the acres, all at our website, fire.ca.gov. That is where you can get the very latest on these fires. For now, though, I'm Daniel Berlant. Please have a fire-safe day.
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.
Got lactose intolerance or dairy allergies? Discover delicious raw milk and discover dairy the way it's supposed to be. We provide tours and would love to see you. Come visit the cows, watch the milking, the cheese being made, and learn all about raw milk. We're just 20 miles south and west of Fresno, California. Call to schedule a tour at 559-846-9732.
Termites? Gone. Ants? Gone. Call San Joaquin Pest Control at 291-2200 or visit them online at sanjoaquinpestcontrol.com to take care of your pest problem today.